The landmark Supreme Court decision on the constitutionality of President Obama's health care law is due out today. That could potentially affect 30 million Americans, of course. Good morning, I'm Rolf Winkler. Welcome to the News Hub. We will have all that coverage today, so stick with WSJ Live. In other news, News Corporation has confirmed this morning its intention to split the media conglomerate into two companies, of course, separating the lucrative entertainment operations from its publishing assets. But we are going to start in Washington with Peter Landers telling us, Peter, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Ready for the big day.
We are here. We wanted to talk to you about this fun little story you had today about really this fraught relationship between President Obama and Chief Justice John Roberts. Of course, he voted not to confirm. He didn't vote to confirm the Chief Justice. Way back when. And of course, President Obama's inauguration when Chief Justice Roberts flubbed the oath of office.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
That I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully.
That I will execute
faithfully the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States faithfully.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Now, of course, I'm sure these two are over that issue, but President Obama did have him redo the oath, correct?
That's right. They had to redo the oath a day or two later just to make sure that there wasn't any question about about President Obama being the president.
But in any case, of course, how is the court and the president? It's not just this health care law. They have a bit of a history here, yes?
That's right. I mean, among other things, in 2010, after the court made its Citizens United decision, that was a 5-4 decision striking down limits on corporate and union spending in political campaigns. President Obama made his State of the Union speech just a few days later and criticized the court and said it would lead to all sorts of bad things, including possibly even foreign money coming into U.S. elections. And that's when Justice Samuel Alito mouthed the words silently, "That's not true." And Chief Justice Roberts was also sitting in that audience. And he said later he found that very unpleasant. He didn't like sitting in the audience surrounded by cheering lawmakers, and he really couldn't do anything because of his position. So he sort of resented that comment by Obama. We're told that they've gotten over that, but clearly it's a tense relationship at times.
Meanwhile, the president had said he would prefer that the Supreme Court justices, if they were going to attend the State of the Union, would just kind of sit there with their hands folded, more or less, right?
That's been the tradition, that the justices attend the State of the Union address. They don't say anything. They don't do anything. And that's uncomfortable for many of the justices. In fact, Justice Alito, after getting in trouble for mouthing those words, the last 2 years, I believe, he has not attended the State of the Union address. 1 year he was in Hawaii. That's how far away he wanted to stay from that address.
What are some of the other decisions before the court that could be potentially in conflict with the administration?
Well, there was the Arizona case just the other day. Now, in that case, the majority, including the Chief Justice, gave the Obama administration most of what it wanted. This was challenging the Arizona state anti-immigration law, and the Obama administration said that law was it was challenging federal sovereignty over immigration. And the Supreme Court mostly agreed with that, except on one point. And so that was a case where the Chief Justice, I suppose, would say, if you could ask him, he'd say, I rule on the law, not on the politics of the case. And in that case, it came down mostly on the Obama administration's side.
And of course, with this decision, potentially with this decision, we obviously haven't seen it yet, but there's a chance here that the Obama campaign is going to, one of the big issues that we could set up for November is a campaign against the Supreme Court, effectively.
I think that could happen if the court chooses to strike down a major part or perhaps the entire health care law. Certainly Democrats, I'm not sure how aggressively President Obama would make this case, but certainly Democrats would make the case that we have a court that's out of control, that's striking down acts of Congress. It's becoming
what would be the point of those kinds of that campaign rhetoric? I mean, to reestablish the health care law if it is struck down in some new format, or just keep us in power just in case a Republican retires from the court, and then so we can replace them with a Democrat? Is that the general idea?
I think that is the subtext on both sides. I think both presidential candidates will say to their supporters, especially their bases, you need to elect me to ensure that the Supreme Court over the coming decades is friendly to our objectives. Now, the people who are nominated to the court are not identified publicly as Republican or Democrats. But certainly a Mitt Romney nominee would be very different from a Barack Obama nominee, and several of the justices are in their 70s. So the next president, whether it be Obama or Romney, I think will probably be making one or more nominations to the Supreme Court.
Peter, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.